Hello people, welcome back to the channel. This is Sorin and today we want to discuss about the M10 RBFM, a tier 5 French premium tank destroyer that managed to dethrone tanks such as the KV-1 in popularity. At 1.6 million battles played in the last 60 days, this tank is dominating the tier 5 matchmaking. Tanks such as the KV-1, the T1 Heavy and the T67 were more like the veteran tanks that people enjoy them because they teach you how to play the game effectively. Well, the KV-1, it managed to go through about 4 lines or more on the Soviet tech tree. The T1 Heavy was pretty basic. It managed to do things right. It was mobile for a heavy. And the T61 teaches you how to spot, how to be a tank destroyer, and how to be sneaky. The KV1 also manages to teach you how to use anger effectively. I believe in a lot of vehicle reviews, it was being promoted as a tank that can teach you how to play the game effectively. Before I start this video, I really want to say a big bracket over here. I am really sorry that I haven't really posted anything for a week, but I believe you managed to see the news. A lot of things happening in Europe with Ukraine, and I had to take my time to learn all about it. Personally, I am a curious person. I really love to read and understand what is going on, why this is happening, and everything. And I had to take my time to read the news. And talking about the news, guys, be really careful when it comes to fake news. Try to get your information from safe sources, and it is a lot of madness on the internet. People are saying something. Some guys are trying to make a fake news to create panic. So yeah, make sure you get your news from the best possible sources, please. On top of that, I do have my exam in summer, and I need to take some time off gaming to actually learn something, to study, because it actually helps my life. Is gonna help my professional career. I believe you all of you went through that, and I hope you understand me. And really want to thank you very much. Going back to the crisis, to the war, I'm really unfortunate that I can see this in this century, actually not in this century, in this decade, because with talking about the start of the 2020, a lot of really bad things happened. We had the pandemics, 2 years of restrictions, 2 years of not traveling. Well, maybe traveling, but you had to wear the mask, to wear the try to be as safe as possible. And now it comes this panic inside the Europe, the crisis, the what is called the stocks going down and everything, which is a bit unfortunate. And the most unfortunate thing is that a lot of innocent people, such as people that used to live in Kiev, had to live their life like you sit, let's say you sit in that house for 20 years, you have memories there, you have everything, and there is just like that someone that tells you you have to get out of the city to evacuate, otherwise you're gonna lose everything you have, your life. And yes, it's really sad that we're living such times. On top of that, I'm really unfortunate that so many people have to suffer because war is a suffering game where no one is winning. I mean, in World of Tanks, you you win, you feel happy, you lose, you feel sad as well. But it's only a game. Real life, it's so unfortunate. It's so sad. It's so distractional. It's so suffering, and I really wish everything is gonna calm down. And talking about wargaming, I really want to see uh, some how to say, some support towards the Ukraine, because it is really good to help people right now when they actually need help when they're in such um, times. And yes, we have to stick to our game to see what is going on. If you want to see, I can promote some news um, that I'm gonna get myself from wargaming, as it is a game that I really love playing, and I really want to see some how to say, some development on this side of the um, how can I say it? Like I really want to see wargaming getting involved into the Ukraine thing, to pass a company to help them with either money, with either anything, with a small charity support, because those people are I believe Ukraine is one of the largest city, not largest city, sorry, largest country inside Europe. There are 40 million people or so that really need help. So without further ado, let's begin the video. Well, talking about this tank, we are playing on assault map on Karelia. This is a +1 -1 matchmaking with 2 artillery. Um, this tank, well, this tank it used to be available, I believe, in the bond shop. It is still available. 1,500 coupons for this tank. Is it worth it? If you don't have any crew trainer, it is quite decent. It is quite the gun is really the main focus of this vehicle. It is pretty much a Wolverine with it is heavier. It weighs 30 ton. It is more accurate, more has the same view range. It has lower impact when hit to get on fire. And I also forgot to switch to this side to comparison, and actually let's take actually the statistics and talk about them when they're on the paper over here, because I can actually show you to you. So yeah, discussing with the penetration much better, 2 millimeters in plus, pretty much half round of rates of fire, pretty much shoots half round more. The caliber is 76, meaning you can overmatch 25 millimeter plates, which pretty much in tier 5 I believe there are some on the light tank or the tank destroyer. The ammo capacity it's less, actually it's the same as the Wolverine and less than the T67, but whoever feels that, I never run out of ammo in this tank. The gun handling, it is one of the best. The Wolverine has slightly less aiming time, and the T67 has slightly better turret traverse dispersion. So, in this chapter, the firepower and the gun handling are god tier on this vehicle. On top of that, this vehicle is fully rotatable, and the depression, sorry, it's 10 degrees, just such as the vehicles in this comparison. The 4-speed, the mobility, this is where this tank is falling. It weighs 30 ton, it has a weaker engine, the reverse speed is only 12, and the 4-speed is 48, but you really need to slap down a turbo as I have in my setup. Why is that? You have pretty bad terrain resistances. As you can see, on hard you can go 47 km an hour top speed, on medium 40, and 22.6 on soft. So yeah, if you're gonna go to a swampy area, make sure you get yourself the pulling bar and tanks that you can hook onto to actually tow you out of the mud. So yeah, jokes aside, the D67 is gonna go whizzing past through this at 47 km an hour on some. So he doesn't feel any kind of mud in the way. He doesn't feel like he's gonna sink as this tank is doing. But still, having twice the weight, it actually pays off. So you can actually do some ramming or actually get on the way of the light tanks for them to ram into you. You're gonna do much more damage. Talking about the armor, this is where this tank shines comparison to the T67. You do have 57 and 30 that actually can bounce eventually HE rounds, and the hull armor is 38, which actually once again can bounce. And the over angle can actually ricochet some rounds, but do not trust the armor. All tanks are 470 hit points, and once again, this vehicle it's the same as a Wolverine. You do have the same camo. Weirdly enough, it has the after firing values lower, and the radio range is actually 430 meters, meaning I don't know what that means. I never lose my radio with the team. On top of that, what is really nice, 15% fire chance, and the tank costs 10 million silver. Sadly, it doesn't cost 10 million, it costs only 200 silver if you wanna sell it into your garage. And this tank shines at 370 meters view range, comparison to the blind 340 on the T67. So here are some quick comparison. We're gonna go to the a typical bush. Usually this is where I go. And I really like to carry the gun rammer to increase my DPM up to 2600, which is huge. It can be good for a tier 10, but this tank is tier 5. It can shred through the enemies, good blind fire there. I'm loading HE rounds and trying to hit the beast. Unfortunately, that shell went low. He's dead. We got one shell in and the blind fire. Unfortunately, the Polak tank picks that route, which is weird, really weird. But talking about tier 6 matchmaking, everything is possible, and he managed to outspot me. As you can see, the tank going uphill is like really slow, but you feel pretty flexible on the ridge line. If you're asking why I play tier 5, because I haven't really played wargaming for that much, and usually I do play tier 9, tier 10. I am trying to turn mark my A75 and go to the 100 to the last final level. And when I'm back, I really wanna take my tier 5 out and go back to learning the basics and how the game feels and everything. If you can take a look at here, about 10 seconds and we're up to 780 damage. We managed to shred through that Polak 3 times and 3 times, the dizzy PZ. I believe we got a point. Now trying to push a bit in front versus the Pola tank. I know this tank get 240 alpha damage, meaning he's gonna half on my life. Over there I a bit late on the click button, but can I take another shell? Another shell. Trying to aim through reverse. Unfortunately, actually fortunately, the OI managed to one-shot him. And now I'm trying to get a better position to engage the T-34. The first goes high, the second hits, managed to knock out something in the tank, managed to track him, come on third one, and he's dead. Managed to get 186 assist. The shell velocity at 300, actually no, at 790, it is quite bad. Look at this. Talking about the speed, you are sluggish. Managed to get up to 40 km/h when I was down slope, and now I'm trying to go a bit up slope at 14 max with a turbo. Managing I got hit by the SU-85B unluckily for no damage, and the 85 managed to put around right into my side. Over here I'm trying to think what is going on. I believe the Lux that was somewhere over here managed to spot me, and I'm sitting as my binoculars above the view range. I have 490 meters with binoculars activated, so I can do some spotting. Now being patient in the bush. Pretty much this is your typical game where you have to sit in the bush and pretty much support all of your allies. You're a glass cannon, you do not have any hit points, you don't have any armor, so never try to fight into the front line with such tanks. We managed to see the SU-85, and yeah, look at that shell. We managed to hit like a small pixel, and over there he pulled back and he's dead. 1258 damage, it's pretty decent for tier 5, but we have still more work to do. It looks like my team is more united and knows how to attack the enemies from all directions. Everyone's pushing together, which is a good strategy from my team. I really like that thing. And now it's time to actually get closer, because playing from that rock, I never have the ability to see into their base as there is much cover, and I actually need to get more involved because I really want to do some damage to, to keep my WN8 up. The grill got spotted into that bush. The typical bush is actually really preferred by a lot of people. As you can see, on this swampy area, we managed to go up to 28 km/h. We managed to clutch it. As you can see, the reticle is quite small at this kind of speed, and I really like the gun handling. On the T67, I never felt like that accurate. When I was moving, I had to stay still, and even with 0.39 accuracy, didn't feel like I was the most accuracy, but Look at it, when you have 2600 DPN versus a tank that has pretty much base 2000, just look at this. Manage 1, 2, 3. He managed to shoot us. Because we angled, he managed to ricochet off. And sixth one, he managed to hit us. And seventh. And we're up to 2000 damage. So we pretty much outtraded a tier 6 medium tank 341. He managed to put 300 hit points to get 180 back, which is a really good achievement from my side. Now trying to catch the artillery off guard. Unfortunately, I missed my first round. Now I'm loading HE. Artillery shell comes whizzing through my ears, and we managed to pick up the M44, securing our fourth kill. So yeah, this is pretty much M10 RBFM. I'm not gonna end the battle because the Lux is gonna be spotted and he's gonna get shotgun by the artillery. I want to switch back to the internet and let's take a look at the post-game stats. So it was a victory. We managed to pick up 2,409 19 damage because we managed to hit the LC twice for 213. Managed to do critical damage. Yeah, looks like every time you hit with this tank, you do some critical damage, which is pretty decent. Um, we managed to pick up an ace. Talking about the ace, we need to do mastery requirements. Ace tanker tier 5 French and this actually pick some. So you need to do 1341 on average base XP, which is like 10% more than the T67. But talking about the mark of excellence, to get your third mark of excellence on this tank, it's actually upside down. The T67, because it's more mobile and you can do more damage, it's actually like 15% harder to achieve your third star on the barrel. If it is star, it's actually a star, yes. Yes, pretty decent result for a tier 5. I'll be happy in tier 8 to do this kind of damage because, well, pretty much in tier 8 with this kind of damage you're gonna make a lot of credits. But as I never play with premium account, I managed to get 40,000 credits with a tier 5, which is pretty decent in my opinion if you ask me. 30 shells fired, 24 direct hits and 22 penetrations. We did quite a bit of snipe, but we managed to be in our line of sight, if I can say so. We managed to block one shell of damage and we managed to assist a bit. Talking about the score, we did pretty much like twice as much as the second guy did, the artillery, of course, and we pretty much broke the ace at a small margin, but still a really good, game by me. After I haven't really played World of Tanks that much, and I believe, guys, you got the point of why this tank is so popular. Um, Cheap to insure, cheap cheap to fire your bullets, your cannon. It is accurate. It has the DPM. It does have quite sluggish mobility. You don't have the V range, and it's either this tank or is it the T67. Tell me down into the comments what do you think it's better. Is it better the T67 or do you prefer this tank? Thank you very much for watching, guys. All legends in the next one. Bye bye.